Welcome everyone, and this time we are going to have a little bit of EU teams content because recently we had the Fangbooth 6 group stage, which is a EU tournament, and here we have a match from Group A, which is Imports Backpack versus Ronin. Ronin, a very long-standing team in the EU scene. Imports Backpack, having Import are the main player, and as you know, Import is usually like a monster when it comes to stealing objective, and on this game it's no different. So let's jump right in and see how it happens. Let's enjoy. So we have two teams from Group A. We have Import's Backpack on the Dawn side, composed of Nose, Import, Wangling, Zane, and Julia Latina. They're going to face against Ronin, which is composed of Luga, Penguin, Skype Hamster, Flame Poken, and Llama on the Dusk side. And before we jump into the match, we're gonna look a little bit at the draft. And so like the draft here, we have Imports Backpack that was like first pick, first ban. For those that don't know exactly how the draft is working, both teams have a ban before they start picking, then they both pick 3 heroes on each side, and then they have a second ban at that moment, and then they complete. And so here, the first ban on the side of Imports Backpack was the Decker. Team Ronin decided to answer with the Rictor. Rictor, a very high like prior pick when it comes to banning, like most teams don't really want to play against it. And so we have a first pick Rampage, securing this front line. Rampage finally like not bug anymore for the Fangbooth 6 compared to what he was in PCCC 6. And so he's back in a very like commanding position. As an answer, we go for the Quang Howitzer. So Howitzer being picked like very early on the side of Team Ronin. I guess the idea was that they pick Howitzer, and so like they were hoping maybe the enemy teams go for the Bellica, and they're happy with the Howitzer because Bellica was a priority pick for a lot of teams for a long time. And then we answer with the Sevarog Twin Blast. So already very strong front line here from the Rampage of Sevarog, and we secure the carry that they wanted to have. Twin Blast is a very safe carry that will always scale, can always farm also when left alone in the wave thanks to the Vortex Grenade. And so on the side of Team Ronin, since Rampage, Sevarog are already out of the picture, Rictor is already out of the picture, they kind of need to find some front lines, and so they decided to go for the steal. And so at that moment in the draft is second phase for the bans. And here we can see Rampage, Sevarog, Twin Blast. If the enemy team like managed to get like a Narbash behind that, like this draft would be like way too strong. So we see Team Ronin going for the ban Narbash. While on this other side, on the Imports Backpack, they kind of want to probably like force the carry on the side of Ronin on something that is less a problem in lane. And so they decided to remove the Murdoch. Immediately securing the Drongo, the idea is to keep the option open because for now, like the steal can go on support, can go in jungle, can go on offlane. Quang can be like on offlane, on jungle. And so if you pick like the carry here, true, we know that probably Twin Blast is mid, is on the carry role, but at the same time, you want to keep your option open to have like maybe some counter pick. And so we decide to round out the draft with Muriel Gideon. So very strong dive comp. Muriel can be like abused a little bit in lane, but if she managed like to survive the early laning phase, like suddenly like you have like a very strong front line supported by the Muriel, maybe you like a little bit of damage later on in the game because the Gideon can fall off, but at the same time you have the Twin Blast to compensate all of that. And so we decided to round out the draft with the Crunch. To be fair, the enemy team doesn't have anything to stop a Crunch from really like popping off. Like they have only like the Boulder, so I love the Crunch pick as the last pick for the side of Ronin. They do have to be careful though because they don't really have a lot of way to go for sustained team fight because against the Muriel that's gonna be an issue. So they need to find people that they can kill very fast, and so they need to not fall behind. Otherwise, the match is gonna become complicated. But they have a lot of tools, like this Muriel can be absolutely obliterated. The only thing is here, we're probably gonna get a Steel Drongo in lane, which means that it's gonna be a lane that is a little bit rough to play until the level 6. And so we're gonna jump back into the game. And hello, Mr. Meds, how you doing? So here we get the Crunch in the jungle. So Flame Poken playing the Crunch. The Quang is in the offlane facing the Sevarog. I would have preferred to invert those two picks, to be honest. I would have preferred a Crunch into the Sevarog because I feel like Crunch is much stronger into Sevarog than Quang actually is. And I feel like also like this Crunch, if this Crunch get big against the Sevarog, like suddenly like the match is like pretty pretty good for them. Also, like the Kwang would offer, like in my opinion, better gank early on, both for the Howitzer and the Drongo, and so would have been like much better overall to get those like the crunch would have been, like in my opinion, better in the offlane, because the Kwang can just then get good ganks on this Muriel, for instance, like the tether falling by the gag grenade, and that's a dead Muriel. So I like their draft. I don't like that they put crunch in the jungle and Kwang in the offlane. I think that's a mistake on the side of Ronin from the draft they have. So here, like I said, like I with the Steel, you can't really like step up that much, because Steel doesn't have, like, compared to a Rictor, like Steel can't really engage from distance. And also it doesn't have the passive. Like that's really like the Riot Shield passive from Rictor that allow him to step up into the wave. If you play with Steel support, you're forced to, like, you don't really have anything to do. Your carries cannot like even step up, because otherwise it's like two range people like just eating him, and so you just like have to accept that you're not gonna get priority at all. In the mid lane, we do have Wengol getting a little bit of an early like trade and dominating a little bit like the exchange here. A little bit surprising, because normally Howitzer can be like pretty good at clearing the wave thanks to his like passive and strong auto attack and attack speed for a mage, and at the same time you get the rocket to poke like from longer distance than the Cosmic Rift and the Void Bridge. So I feel like the only thing that the Gideon has is you have to be careful as Howitzer, because the passive does a lot of damage. We do have the Rampage like hovering around, like Import, always like very active on the map, very fast, looking for an early gank here, trying to go for the boulder, and we got the boulder into jump into Rumble, and perfectly executed. So here you can see like it's a very clean gank, and that's the type of gank you should be looking for. Like a lot of people will throw the boulder and then they would just have walked there. But the problem, if you do that, Skype Hamster just gonna landmine or just gonna flash away. So Import want to burst as much as he can before the end of the boulder. And so if here, like you see, they use everything perfectly, and that's a kill before Skype Hamster can even react. To be fair, Skype Hamster was out of the boulder, he could have flashed away and dodge a Cosmic Rift and survive. So a little mistakes on the side of Sky Hamster, a little bit slow on the flash, but the execution was perfectly made by Import and Wengol here. And that's the first blood, and having this Howitzer falling slightly behind can be like a little bit dangerous. And on top of that, that's double river buff for the side of Import's backpack. So here we have Import coming also to get this teal buff. So Import didn't do any of his blue side, but at the same time, since like the dual lane on the side of Team Ronin was going to get pressure simply because they have the steal, they take advantage of that. And so like Import not even clearing his blue side, but at the same time Flame Poken not even going like for the vertical jungling. So I don't think Import lost anything, and you can see he's level 4 taking advantage of the teal buff, trying to get like a kill as well, and he get the solo kill on top of that, like Import Demon on tourney day. Flash Rumble and Lama no mana. Just look, yeah, like these kills shouldn't happen, but to be fair, I feel like Flame Poken going to contest there instead of like going for a vertical jungling after they see Import on river buff is a little bit and you have to respect the boulder. Like early level, like early game, like the boulder of Rampage is absolutely disgusting. And so here we have Zen and Juliatina, almost no mana, but they just wanted to crash the wave. Probably gonna go for the gold buff, reset after. Actually, they don't even like go for it, they reset immediately. They didn't feel confident with the amount of mana they have, but to be fair, I think it was like kind of fine to go. Sure, the steal can come, but if the Drongo come, I guess you have just enough mana to be able to kill Luga. And your Rampage is like hovering around because he's not on the blue side, so I think it would have been okay. But here, actually, the thing is that they wanted to maybe like force early Fangbooth. No. So Zen is saying that they don't go because tempo is more important. But I'm not sure what tempo we're gaining here in that situation. Because like the wave is going bounce back, and so now like we have to step up, and that can open up like a window of opportunity. If you go for the gold buff, then the wave is going to be closer to tower, and I prefer, and there is like not much to be gained. Like at 5 minutes, forcing the Fangbooth is a little bit too early. So apparently they wanted to not lose tempo, but at the same time I don't see where you're losing the tempo here by going for it. So we do have import hovering around the mid lane. Dodging the ward, like, that's a very small thing, but... And so, like, here what we are getting, like, look at what import is doing. He's using the jump, which means that he dodged the ward, and then he comes from behind. And we're trying to get the kill. Unfortunately, it's not enough. No red buff, because red buff wasn't like respawn, but we forced like the howitzer away.
Allied tower under attack.
And so here we're just gonna go to clear the red side, like once again. I feel like I would have preferred the crunch in offlane and the Kwang in the jungle. In my opinion, would have been like a much better suit for this team comp against the team comp that they're actually facing. But Import's backpack doing a great job early on. 20 CS up, 2 kills up. So far, utilizing the strengths of this rampage. So here we'll see Import is there for the second teal buff. So Llama doesn't have any shot at getting any of those. We had the crunch, not level 6 yet. Finally getting his level 6 and maybe like trying to go for the aggression here. And one goal gets picked up. I wonder what happened here. I feel like with flash plus like... Oh, I didn't expect Flame Pokken coming from behind. And he missed the flash, so... That's gonna be like the first kill on board on the side of Ronin. Well played. Getting a little bit of priority in the mid lane. Unfortunately, like they're not gonna fully crash the wave, so Import is just here to collect the wave. We go back to farming. Like I do feel like Sevrog into Kwang, of course Kwang is kind of winning the trades, but at the same time there is like not much you can do to fully like stop the Sevrog from farming. And so I feel like Sevrog is a good answer to Kwang in the offlane. Another reason I would have loved to see Crunch in the offlane. Yeah, exactly, Bondurut. Like at some point the Kwang can just like, the Sevrog can just like freeform and he's get bigs, and Sevrog that can freeform is actually like very, very scary. So here we're kind of waiting a little bit. 8 minutes 30, probably team will gonna start looking around the Fangbooth. We see that Import is around, but Flame Pokken as well. So both jungler are ready if any attempt of Fangbooth is actually being made. We do have Zen that needs to be a little bit careful because like double dash and he's forced to flash away against the crunch at that moment in the game. So I need to be careful about his positioning. And Imports is just like keeping his farm up, level 7. Flame Pokken slightly ahead. To be fair, like Crunch clear very fast. And here, I think they saw like import on the ward, so they're gonna start like this Fangbooth on their side. They have priority on the dual lane and on mid lane. So with double priority plus the jungle priority, they're just gonna go for this Fangbooth, and that should be a free Fangbooth for the side of Ronin. I don't see like any shot of like the side of Team Import's backpack to actually contest that. Wangle taking advantage of that. Oh, a very nice wombo combo here, and that's gonna be like probably like a double kill, I assume. Import is coming, but actually we use the Reversal of Fortune. What an engage by Penguin, to be fair. What a wombo combo. Like, let's just watch it once again, because it was very clean execution, and I love to see this type of like clean execution when you go for those skirmishes. Like here they try to disengage. Julie Latina and Zen, or a little bit like immediately they go for it, and here we got the gag grenade, which means no flash is possible. Then we got the bull rush to keep them both inside the gag grenade, and then we focus the damage, and then we got like the uppercut from Flame Pokken, and here almost perfect. Unfortunately, like not fully perfect, so Zane managed to get away. But that was like very close for the double kill, and they secured the Fangbooth, so a very good option by the side of Ronin, and Ronin actually like having a very strong moment. Nose, forced to flash away, we got the flash, and we connect with, I'm not sure what connect, I guess it's the Fire Blossom that get the kill, because I'm not sure the ultimate actually connected, and so we get like 2 kills across the map plus the Fangbooth. Ronin doing like a very strong option and catching up on farm, and so now they are slightly ahead. But they do have to be careful, because immediately taking advantage of that tempo that they get, they try to get like the mid tower on the side of Import. We try to go on that Gideon gets absolutely obliterated, and Flame Pokken like on the map as well. And they kind of defend this tier 1 tower in mid, but this tier 1 tower took a lot of damage. Zen rotating to protect like their own tier 1 tower. And maybe that can create like a little bit of opportunity for the mini prime. On top of that, we know that the BMOS is done on the side of Import, so that means like no, like this Rampage doesn't have this strong ultimate that allow him to very contest that super easily. And so Ronin should be able to secure that mini prime for themselves, and playing a very strong like tempo in this early mid game of the match. In the meantime, Lugan needs to be a little bit careful, because he's without his support, and that's a big wave going on the tower, so they should be able to deal a little bit of damage onto that tier 1 tower if they want to. But they have to be careful, because now the steal is level 6, and Mural Twin Blast doesn't really have anything to stop a steal from going like all in on them. And if they get ulted, the Drongo damage is enough to one-shot either of them, so they have to be very careful about that. We do have Llama that was going aggressive on Nose, but now we have Import like trying to come back, dodging the boulder here with Flame Pokken arriving. So if Llama doesn't dodge that boulder, he's probably dead, so very well played by him. And just simply going to go for a disengage. And so Ronin not losing like that much tempo after going for this nice Fangbooth plus like kill, and not losing anything on the map overall after that. And so like they're actually like in a very good position now. They're entering their moment that they are very strong. Like the Drongo is super strong at that moment, the steal as well, but they do have to be careful, because the scaling is definitely on the side of Team Import's backpack. So that's the moment that they are strong, and that's the moment they should abuse it. We do have like Howitzer a little bit out of position, Scap Hamster, forced like to use the Meki Train, but then we get the Black Hole, forced to flash away, getting the Ventilate, but we got the shield to protect him. We got the flash in by Wangle, trying to get the kill. The dash is blocked by Import from the Crunch. We try to go in with the shield slam, but we fully miss everything, and you have to be careful. As a steal, if you don't connect with your ability, you don't get that shield, and suddenly you're very squishy. And that's a disaster for the side of Ronin. They tried to force something when they were like not really winning. Penguin going a little bit too ham. Here Penguin doesn't have to do anything, realistically speaking. The disengage was made. They can't really push if Penguin is still here super healthy, but Penguin go too far away, try to see the opportunity, and in the end they end up losing him. They end up losing the tier 1 tower, and now Import's backpack is like catching up on like how like on the little moment they were slightly behind. And this is what like you have to be careful, because yeah, you are strong in that mid-game moment, but if you keep doing like this little thing here. Nose missing the colossal blow. Llama just like dashing through, but they do have to be careful here. Llama has the mini prime. I think he shouldn't be able to survive here. He got the flash, but Import is following that up with the BMOs. We get the landmine trying to save Llama, but we got the boulder into the Cosmic Rift, and that's the mini prime removed. Here, Ronin made like two mistakes in my opinion across the map. Like first is like going for this aggression from Penguin on the left side fight, while like even if you connect, like your team can't really like follow that perfectly. You don't have the damage of the Howitzer. The only damage you had was the Crunch and the Drogo, which is a lot of damage. But at the same time, it's also like something that is there was like the Rampage in between, like those situations. It wasn't like that clear cut. And here Llama overstanding with that mini prime and ended up losing it. While it could have like simply like reset it after taking the tower and then walk towards the Fangtooth, and then you have the Quang mini prime on the Fangtooth while having priority over that Sevarog, and you would have been like in a perfect situation to get the second Fangtooth of the game. So Ronin making two mistakes during like their very strong timing, their very strong power spike as a team, and I hope it's not gonna be like too harsh on them later on, because like I said, the scaling is on the side of Import's backpack. So we got like the cage, we got the knockup, but very good boulder by Import to force the disengage here, and so Zane being safe. Now we got Nose that finally rotated, so it's a 5v5 if they want to fight that. They don't know where is the Twin Blast, and they actually like don't want to force it. Which is a little bit surprising, because that's the moment that they're the strongest in the mid game. If they don't force like those situations as the side of Ronin, they're just gonna lose the game by default. Like that's the moment, like with Steel, Howitzer, Crunch, Strongo, Quang, you have such strong like team fight potential in the mid game, and if you don't take those opportunities right now, you're just gonna lose the game in the long run. Okay, they go for the counter engage. We got the shield slam onto the Sevarog plus a bull rush onto the Sevarog. I'm not so sure that's the correct target. Like the correct target are those two guys. Can we stop hitting the tank? In the end, finally, like Llama is going into the backline, but he's getting pretty low. We're gonna get the Sevarog, trying to survive as much as we can. People are 1 HP here. We're gonna get like another kill. And in the end, Ronin managing to get the team fight for themselves. They also get the tier 1 tower on the dual lane, and they're gonna get the Fangtooth. And that's exactly what I was saying. Like, to be fair, in that situation, in that moment in the game, Ronin composition is just so much stronger than Import's backpack composition. To be fair, Import's backpack shouldn't really like force that Fangtooth, because in the straight 5v5 at that moment, they never win if both teams play correctly the engagement. And here, I feel like Ronin wasn't playing perfectly the engagement, and they still like win decisively, like 3 kills for 0, get the Fangtooth. So I feel like on the side of Import's backpack, that was a timing to play the map and not a timing to contest the Fangtooth. And they should have like tried to contest the third Fangtooth as a game plan, in my opinion. But now that means that we have like a very, very strong, like, again, Ronin stepping slightly ahead with 3 more kills, a little bit more CS, and getting this second Fangtooth. And now they're going to convert that into the next mini prime as well. Their team composition is still like in their power spike compared to the enemy team. The enemy team doesn't have BMOs. They really rely on those like strong ultimate. Probably Reversal of Fortune is also, it's up actually, but they don't have Black Hole. Actually, BMOs is already back, so my mistake here. And you can see they get a mini prime, but here we get like a lot of like pressure on the map being applied. Unfortunately, they can't secure any tier 2 tower, but that was like very close of Import's backpack being able to secure like some damage on those tier 2 towers. And so they got as much farm as they can, because they didn't want to fight them again, and try to keep like their scaling going up. So in terms of itemization, we do have the Howitzer going like for the one-shot build with combustion, rest legging. We do have the Marshall onto Marshall Silencium. Interesting. We go for the Silencium here, probably to counter the Crunch, I would assume. to have a shot at defending against him, while Tranquility is usually like the thing you prefer, but here we're just trying like to sustain the burst. And also like at sustaining against burst, I feel like Tranquility would be very good, especially against this like howitzer, but we decided to go mainly to have a solution against that crunch that, to be fair, the team doesn't have a lot. So I kind of understand the pickup here. Try to find like another solution against a very strong pick on the enemy side. And here we do secure the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Nose split pushing on the right side. So that's probably going to be like tower for tower. Llama is rotating, but I'm not sure it's going to arrive on time. But Nose doesn't want to stay, so it's going to be like a tower defended by Llama here. And so here, keeping like the wave pushed. Big Orb Prime is going to spawn in 30 seconds, but no team is like that far ahead that they can force it without any issues, so they need to find like some things before. And also like Import's backpack doing a good job at shoving waves, so that kind of force running back on their side of the map and not getting like any priority and thing, as you can see. Then immediately like working towards like warding a little bit to get like some vision around that Orb Prime. They don't want to get like the full invade of their side of the jungle. And so here, that's a crucial timing for Ronin. Ronin needs to really like... it's like their power spike as a comp is still there, but it's slightly starting to diminish. And so they need like to find like once again a very strong team fight that secure the Orb Prime, and then they finish the game, or at least get like a big enough lead from like that power play to actually like secure the game for themselves. Otherwise, here we're gonna start to get into the scaling of the Muriel, the Twin Blast, and the Sevrog. That can start to be scary. So you can see here, there is the side of Ronin taking full control of like this right side jungle. But Import's backpack playing like very safe. They know that they have to delay as much as they can. Third Fangbooth is going to respawn. The third Fangbooth is gonna be the moment that Ronin needs to absolutely don't choke. Because if they secure this third Fangbooth, that's gonna be like very, very strong for them. And so that's gonna be like a key moment for them. I'm a little bit surprised that they're playing like the map that way on the side of Ronin. You can see they have like Flame Poken completely on the blue side on the respawn of the Fangbooth, and here we have Skype Hamster getting like picked up. They're just gonna go hard on him. Penguin is trying like to save him, but that's not gonna be enough, and now Penguin is going to die. Probably, or maybe not, but he's gonna be forced, and so that means that now like they have like 2 people left, and they got like a double kill here. On the timing of the Fangbooth, Ronin making like a humongous mistake here on the macro side, not understanding that they should go for this triple Fangbooth and they should force this 5v5 on that triple Fangbooth. That's the key moment of the game. And actually, like we see here, they're spending a lot of time in the red side. As soon as they don't find anybody on the red side, they need to understand that they have to regroup and go on the left side. And they keep like spending some resources on the right side of the map. When Fangbooth was respawning, Drongo was going back to base on that timing because his team wasn't around, and suddenly that means that like the mid lane is completely like alone, and Import's backpack taking advantage of that situation to just like force the howitzer out, get the kill, double kill, they secure the Fangbooth, and that means that now the game is super delayed. And that huge timing that I was saying that Ronin still has and that they need to abuse and exploit, they just like fully dropped it because they didn't even realize they had that timing and they didn't even play for it. And so now, like, realistically speaking, this moment of Ronin not going for that triple Fangbooth is for me like the turning point, and we should get like now simply Import's backpack that will keep scaling, play slow the match, and they will end up like winning this match because Ronin dropped the ball, basically. But let's see how it goes, because you never know. Like, teams still have like nobody is executing perfectly. As we have seen, like both of those teams have already made a lot of macro mistake overall. Ronin more than Import's backpack, but Import's backpack still made some as well. And also, like, nobody's playing perfectly in terms of mechanics yet in that game, so anything can happen at any time. But definitely, Ronin could have gotten like a very strong option to win that game that they completely like missed, and now they're actually like in a bad situation. And actually, like, their winning chances have dropped considerably by missing that triple Fangbooth play. So here, both teams are kind of playing slow. There is no objective to be taken on the map besides tier 2s or prime. Once again, if you don't get like a strong enough like openings on some other people, there is not much to be found. We do have Julie Latina applying pressure on that tier 2 tower, forcing Luga under his own tower, which can create like some space on the map. In the meantime, we do have Nose trying like to create like some distraction here, but dodging with the Phantom Rush. Flame Pokken and Lama trying to find something. Import is here to cover, trying to go for the long range boulder onto Flame Pokken. Flame Pokken just forward crushing away. And in the meantime, we do have Julie Latina that actually like won the 1v1 against Luga here, which is something that you have to be careful and should not really happen. In terms of build, what do we have? Luga has finished Demolisher, so Luga is actually like stronger in terms of build. Okay. This is where like I would have preferred Tranquility, because with Tranquility maybe they win that fight. But in the end, we have Skype Hamster rotating, get like a good pickup onto Julie Latina. On top of that, Luga never have to really play that fully because Skype Hamster was rotating. So like Luga playing that very, very poorly here in that situation. Little information from the chat. Apparently Zane misclicked his crest. He wanted to go Sanctification with Guardian Crest and apparently he misclicked, so... Still, I feel like probably, like I understand the Silencem from the crunch and both Trank and both like Trank and Silencem, I think it's okay in that game, but here that was the situation when Tranquility was stronger than Silencem, and sometimes like when the crunch is going to go in, Silencem is going to be better than Tranquility, so it's not easy to actually know which one is better. Yeah, also, like, I think, like, your team composition have nothing to really deal with the crunch, so that's why, like, I understand the pickup completely. But it's true that Tranquility, overall, besides that niche scenario, is most of the time, like, slightly better. To not say, like, pretty good. But here, in the end, Julie Latina actually, like, completely, like, destroying, like, Luga. I don't understand, like, here, like I said, Luga didn't even have to play. He just, like, played passive. Howitzer is coming. That's a free kill. And Luga never died, so Julie Latina did a good job of finding the pickup here, but Luga played that very poorly. So here we got the Primal Fangbooth respawning, so now we have like both big objectives on the map, but once again, on the side of Import's backpack, we're still scaling, like we're chilling, like really we are. And nice boost rock onto Luga. We can't really like step up because like of course we don't have priority and nobody can really like follow that up. We're not gonna use the Thorn Space in to just like beeline onto a Drongo that probably have Shrapnel Cannon. Don't do that unless you want to die. And here like both teams are playing slow, but on the side of Import's backpack, if they play slow they're gonna win So it's really on the side of team like Ronin to actually like make something happen. And so far, they're not really making anything happen. As soon as they lose that third Fangtooth, it feels like Ronin was completely lost at what they should be doing. And they just like play kind of passive, kind of reacting, trying to maybe like make some plays like we have seen on the offlane, trying to get into Noz, but that's basically like the only thing they try to force. And then the rest is like was reaction, but once again, like the window for their team are kind of close. So here, as I'm saying that, they finally are going to try to go on to Nose. They got the tether, they got the knock up, they have everyone, we got the flash. Ooh, the colossal blow that countered the bull rush here. So that's the thing, like a Sevrog is so hard to shut down. Like 28 minutes into the game, level 15, already like full like tier 4 shoulders, and like yeah, that's the only thing that is open for you to take. But at the same time, like it's not something that you're gonna manage to really take. Like to be honest, without like the Drongo's damage on that Sevrog, like that Sevrog is not gonna die. So here we have Julie Latina that's just resetting back to base, and once again, like they go for like a big play on Nose, but Ronin not finding anything out of it, and Import's backpack just chilling. Nose keep being a nuisance by shoving that lane, keep getting his stacks, keep being happy. 6 more stack in the bank, level 16, Colossal Blue level 3. Zane is looking to get like his level 11, he needs to find it. That would be like very good. Reversal of Fortune level 2 for the support would be absolutely humongous. And here we have Import trying like to come from behind, getting a boulder onto Flame Pokken, trying to force a fight here, jumping away towards Nose, then getting the BMOs, regrouping with his team. He's gonna get a boulder almost soon, so we got Luga that forced Shrapnel Cannon away. We got the Flash boulder here, but we can't like survive long enough. We got finally the Shield Slam onto the Twin Blast. We're trying to disengage as much as we can. People are getting kind of low. Good shield to keep Wangol still alive a little bit more, but here Flame Pokken 1 HP. Julie Latina trying to find a kill. Luga also 1 HP. Julie Latina should... Oh, she find a double kill! And that actually like end up being a 2-for-2. The rest of the team has disengaged, but that was kind of close. I feel like forcing was a little bit too much here. But I want to watch again like this situation with Julie Latina. That here we have Luga. To be fair, Flame Pokken, you have to just... You want to dodge the Vortex Grenade, which is a little bit complicated, but here they don't really need to step up here. So here, as soon as you're in that situation, like I don't know why Flame Pokken like come back. Like there's nothing to be fine for him. Like both Luga and Flame Pokken here, like that's like let Skype Hamster get the kill. Like Skype Hamster just wait for his rocket back, and then like it's a free kill. Flame and Luga go back to base, and that's a 2-for-0. So Julie Latina like finding like a good like play and finding a 2 kill that kind of salvaged this whole team fight. But like Flame Pokken should never die, and Luga should play like survival, not trying to get any damage in. And I think like it could actually have happened, and then it would have been like a double kill for them without losing anyone. And they would have been like in a good position and kind of maybe like having an opportunity to go for that all prime, forcing an objective on the map, and actually like finding a window to actually win the match. Once again, I do feel like Luga doing a questionable play, and it ended up like dying to Julie Latina. So here they're trying to force all prime. Everyone is there, and to be fair, a big portion of the enemy team is out of position. So let's see if they can actually secure that. Oh, we got the tether. Got the bull rush.
The enemy has activated your prime.
Well, Ronin loved to 50-50 their objective. And so they decided to 50-50 again. And Import is super good at eating his hunt. And so that's probably gonna be game. We already lose 2 people. We're gonna lose 1 more. And we kill 3. Howitzer is at 1 HP, getting killed. We clean up everyone. And should be game, right? What? No. No, you don't go primal here. You finish the game. Imports backpack. Like you all group up as 5 in mid. You push mid, you win. But I guess Import's backpack doesn't want to take the W. Because here, like, they take too long to actually like clear that wave. People are going to respawn, and it's not strong enough. But they could have been like 20 seconds on that inhibitor with this wave and all 5 people. That was game. So Import's backpack dropping the ball, and as you can see, like both teams are doing micro mistakes. I kind of like the pull of the R prime, to be fair, by Ronin, but then like they don't execute properly how they should actually like force the damage, and they don't like time their CC correctly with the burst damage to get the R prime, and so Import can just jump in and actually like steal it. So now we have like double big buff, so we still should be able to win the game. I assume on the side of Import's backpack. On top of that, we are at 33 minutes in, so the scaling is actually like super advanced now. We can see that probably some people are starting to get like full build. We got Nose that is already full build, going Vanguardian as the 5th item, so stopping any people from being able to all in him. And we're gonna try like to keep all the way pressured. They actually going like for a 3-0-2 split, it seems. And so like here they're all gonna like split. They're gonna push. We do have Nose on the other side, keep like applying pressure, while the rest of the team is actually playing pressure on the other inhibitor, forcing the enemy team to actually like divide their attention. And so that's gonna be like a free inhibitor. We're gonna keep pouring like all the way under the core, and here in that situation should be like pretty simple with triple wave of minion pouring into the base with all prime plus primal. The enemy team can't really defend because they're forced to use ability on the minion wave, which means they don't have the ability to fight, and it's gonna be like a little bit too much to handle, and that should be the W of Import's backpack. And here we're gonna like try to force the fight, get a lot of damage. Crunch is already dead. Actually, Zane and Julie Latina took a lot of damage from that Howitzer, so Howitzer can be like very versatile. A very, very nice shield slam to actually like knock up multiple people and actually try to defend. We already lose 2 people on the side of Import's backpack, but now they're focusing the core and they actually successfully finish the game. So as we have seen, to be fair, a very close game. It was it could have gone either way. I feel like Import played very well in the early game to completely surprise, get his team ahead, but at the same time, then Ronin got some good answers, taking good advantage. Like this first Fangbooth was very, very good. They kind of turn it up like super strong. They get like the early control of objective. Ronin was playing their comp perfectly. Like to be fair, they hit their power spike with the ultimate arriving, and they played very well around it. And then suddenly, third Fangbooth, and Ronin decided to completely ignore it for absolutely no reason when it was like their power spike. And they lose the third Fangbooth for free because like they didn't play the map correctly. And then overall, after that third Fangbooth being taken away, they were a little bit lost of where they should be like focusing their energy to be able to kind of keep the pressure on, letting a very, very slow match happening, letting the side of Import's Backpack scale. But at the same time, Import's Backpack getting a little bit impatient on that fight around the All Prime. But unfortunately, Flamepoken and Luga trying to be a little too much of a heroes here, staying in front of Gelatina instead of just letting Skype Hamster get the free kill by themselves. And so this last window that was open, they didn't take it. But then Import's Backpack decided to leave a window open for the All Prime. And unfortunately, it wasn't well negotiated by Ronin. Import's Backpack ended up like stealing the All Prime, killing everyone. And here they have the game. But no, they decided to not take the game. Go back for the Primal Fangbooth and expand the game for 2 more minutes for no reason, but in the end they still managed to close it out with like the double objective buff. And that's Import's Backpack winning against Ronin.